So in this presentation, I'm going to try to give you some more help with our 2 choice assignments. So I'll start off with our signature choice assignments. And just as a reminder, you had to select between the athletic training lesson presentation and the effective athletic training learning presentation. By now you should have picked your what assignment you're going to do, and I believe I've also asked you to pick the content area and the expected outcome or the clinical integration proficiency for your lesson that you're going to develop. So what should you do now? I mean, you picked all this stuff. Where should you start? I would just go to Google, type in your term. Let's say that you did, I'll try to give example for each type of choice assignment, the signature choice assignment. Let's say you did the lesson plan, or excuse me, a lesson where you had to come up with a teaching method, and let's say you picked group discussion for your teaching method. So I'll just go on Google, search group discussion, teaching methods, anything along that terminology, and just see what comes up. You can look at Wikipedia. You're not going to cite Wikipedia, but I just want you, the whole idea of why I want you to go to Google and YouTube is just to give yourself some ideas what that particular teaching method's about. On YouTube, you may get my tongue working, you may be able to find somebody actually using a teaching method in a lesson. It's probably not going to be an athletic training lesson, but it still will be a lesson that you might want to use in your presentation. And remember that when we start doing research, we have to look beyond just our narrow athletic training viewpoint. So if let's say you picked in the effective athletic training, teaching, and learning topic area, say your topic you picked was learning over time, go on YouTube or Google and search that term, see what comes up. This is just getting some rough ideas of what this material means. Most of the stuff that you're going to find on Google and YouTube you're not going to cite in your papers, just to give you some idea of where you should go. Pretty quickly, you want to go use Google Scholar, which will give you journal articles, but you should also use our FPU library online database. I believe I put a video. I know there's one in a Moodle orientation course, but I think I put one in one of the lessons. I can't remember exactly where I put that link to teach you how to use our library. I suggest that you just go ahead and try to get full text journal articles. I'd also, when you select, there's different ways you can choose your selections. I would choose full text and peer review articles. I would also look beyond just athletic training in the education. Physical therapy, nursing has done a really good job in research, medical education, and those type of things. So these are the type of materials that you are going to cite. If you can find textbooks with some of this information, that'd be helpful too. But more likely, I need to use the library and get journal articles. And after that, you need to become an expert in that particular topic or teaching method that you've selected. How do you become an expert? You read, and read some more. Read and write, read and write. You need to become an active reader, which means when you're reading, you need to take notes on your material. I would suggest start writing your notes on a Word document, cite, put at the top of the page the correct APA reference page format, and start writing notes there. One of the things I do when I do this type of things is when I'm taking stuff directly from an article, I put quotation marks around it and put the page number for the material so I don't have to go look that up later. And so I can just go back to that. If I'm paraphrasing it, do the same thing. I still put the page number just so I remember where I got it when I want to go back and look, make sure that I didn't misquote or misrepresent the article. Now, if you're using more than like 2 or 3, 4, 5 words in a row out of the article, you need to quote it. I mean, you have to be pretty strict on that. So anyways, become an expert. You need to know everything about the group discussion method, how to teach that way, or you need to become an expert on the learning over time for the topic, whatever your particular topic or teaching method that you've selected. You become an expert on that, because that's expectation, is that you're going to teach us, the rest of us in this class, about that topic. And from here, you want to write a rough draft for your presentation. You're not going to turn in a paper to me, but you are going to need to have a draft or a script for your presentation. If you don't already know how to make video or audio presentations, you need to go online and figure that out. I'm going to put a couple help videos here next week in our class. One is how to do audio PowerPoint, and another one's on Keynote, which is Mac's version of PowerPoint. That's what I use for mine. You don't have to use audio PowerPoint. It's easy, or audio Keynote. It's easy, it's simple, it's boring. If you want to do something else, feel free to do that. There is all sorts of stuff out there. So just get yourself familiar with how to do it. I write script. I double said this. Sorry about that. That's why you practice your presentation, so you don't do stuff like I just did. And what I mean by practice your presentation, don't do your presentation the very first time raw, out of the blue. Go through it. Actually run the thing on the presentation format. Actually say all the words. Practice your voice inflections. If you are a little tech savvy, you might want to set up some way to record your voice and then go back and listen to it and see if there's ways that you can improve the way it sounds, your presentation of the material, so the audience can understand it. Then obviously that you need to actually record the presentation. And one other thing you should start writing is your questions for the forum. Remember, we want open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that can't be answered with a yes/no answer. You can do some of the things I've done, as you will see, is in some of the forums or even in the learning activities, I ask a question, then I'll put why not. So that puts the closed-ended question with another question where this student has to answer the question with reasoning why they believe that. Just as a reminder, our upload limitation, file limitation is 2 gigabytes, which is a lot. But if your files are super huge, it's going to take a long time for them to upload to Moodle. So make sure that you are connected to the Ethernet or the internet through the Ethernet cord, because with Wi-Fi it'll probably time out. So again, let's back up. Start doing your literature review is basically what that's talking about. Remember, you need at least 10 references. Look at the type of references that I have in a syllabi that are acceptable beyond the textbook, the 2 textbooks. You're going to become an expert. Then you'll write a rough draft or script for your presentation, and then do your presentation. Similar stuff for our choice assignment. Remember, we have 2, the athletic training scenarios and the best of the best. So with our athletic training scenarios, obviously you've had to pick your scenario by now. So what you need to do is identify the issue. What is the main problem that is in that scenario that you've selected? how can that issue be fixed? What are some ways that you can go about fixing the issue and helping a student or whoever is involved to turn that issue around? Again, we'll use the same kind of process, find the references. You can use Google, the Fresno Pacific Library again. Same kind of process as we were just talking about with our signature choice assignments. You want to find the quality references to support our ideals for this assignment. You want to write your script, rough draft, and make the presentation and practice it. So when you do it, you're ready to do it. And we only have a couple more weeks. These 6-week classes go by so fast. We're in week 2, and these assignments are due at the end of week 4 and at the end of week 5. So they come pretty fast. So that's why I'm trying to help you to get on top of things pretty quickly. Our second option for our choice assignment is the best of the best. So I find and I identify the teacher, the best of the best teacher, contact them, set up time to do the observation and of them teaching if it's possible, and the interview time, fill out all the paperwork that they have to fill out. I need to get on that pretty quickly. Then actually do the interview or observation and interview with them. Then you need to have that interview transcribed. There are some online transcription programs and services. They're not free. Maybe you can find some free ones, but you need to make sure you have that, because then you have to analyze what they've said and compare what they've said to the Bain book and the other things that we talked about that's required for that particular assignment. And then you have to write your script and your rough draft and do the presentation like we've been talking about. Practice it, put it all together, and get it ready for when it's due. Write all your open-ended questions, all those type of things that we need to do for regardless of what choice assignment you are doing for this class. If you got questions about this assignment, not just just the assignment itself, but audio, video, presentations, anything that you need help with this assignment or anything else in our course, please feel free to first post them in the Q&A forum so I can answer them there, because more than likely other students have the exact same questions as you. If it's a little bit more personal in nature, send me an email. Maybe we need to set up a time to talk on the phone. I'm here to help. I'm here to facilitate the learning. So whatever I can do to help you through this process, that's what I'm here to do. I'm actually looking forward to watching, listening to every student's presentations in this class. We're all going to learn from one another in this particular assignment. That's the whole point. That's one of the things that is a little bit different between grad classes and undergrad classes. The grad level, we typically do these type of assignments where a student becomes an expert and shares with the rest of the group what they've learned. So I hope you find all of this valuable.